Welcome to the CodPast podcast, where your fishy past hooks your brilliant future. With Dr. Deborah, Laura, and Dr. Trish.
We are live. Okay. Gonna forward to my own page. Look at us. We look good. Let's see. I could be weird and be like, smile, everyone.
Ready, finally. Oh, I love your hair. It's amazing, Uqualla.
Okay.
Porcupine.
I love it. That's what I'm trying to do too with my natural hair.
You can easily do it. Lots of gel.
Yeah, lots of gel. Lots of gel.
I got to get some gel. Okay, I am going to, we're on Facebook and I'm sharing it. There I am. And I'm sharing it right now to there. And we're going to start recording, and then we get to introduce Uqualla. So record to the cloud. Okay. Hi, everybody on Facebook. Thank you for coming. We've got an amazing show of all kinds of cool things going on. And we're going to hear from Uqualla, who is, well, I mean, truly in my life, he is the spiritual master. I've met a lot of gurus in my life. I've met Pope Francis. I've met all kinds of wonderful spiritual beings. Uqualla is completely separate from all of that. He is a very, very spiritual being, emissary here on the planet, but he also carries with him the DNA of just some of the most incredible traditions from the Hava Supi tribe. He's a medicine man from the Hava Supi tribe, which is the bottom of the Grand Canyon, which is one of my favorite places in the world, because the Grand Canyon is, I mean, if you want to be in a spiritual place, go hike down the Grand Canyon, you will change your life. So it's a big deal to me, the Grand Canyon and the river coming through. But the people down there, the Hava Supi tribe, they've sort of been held in this space of perfectness. You know, they've been so away from the rest of the world, including if you think about how clear they are, because they don't have any of the radio waves or anything, because down in the Grand Canyon, it prevents all of that stuff that's going on the surface. So these people have held this tradition in such a clean way that it's unique among all people on the planet. And I get to have Uqualla in my life as not only, we have kind of two, maybe more relationships. We have one that's just, I love him so much, like better than a brother. It's just, I love him so much. And I know him so well because we've done so many projects together. But then on the other hand, he transcends my spiritual growth in just a catapulting way. So so that's Uqualla. But before we get to Uqualla, do you guys have fishy stories or anything like that? So first of all, Deborah, will you get started and then tell us why we are CodPast?
We are CodPast because we decided that we would do a podcast called the CodPast because we want your fishy past to hook your brilliant future. And Laura has even taken it farther, that you can take and audition your things from your past that you want to bring forward into your future and leave some of it behind. It certainly is a part of you, but there's some things that we want to leave behind. So let's just make sure that we acknowledge our fishy past, but we also acknowledge that it was an amazing growth for us. So that's what it is all about, our brilliant future. Well, actually our brilliant present, because we have an amazing, brilliant present. We're all so happy and so thriving. And, you know,
Are you going to play our song?
yes, I'm going to play our song. So we will do that right
Deborah's
now.
incredible daughter did a song for us.
Here it is.
Welcome to the CodPast podcast, where your fishy past hooks your brilliant future. With Dr. Deborah, Laura, and Dr. Trish.
It makes us so official.
More official.
Official. Oh, I didn't even think of the word fish being an official.
Oh my gosh, I like
goodness.
that.
How do you do that, Laura?
I don't know. I just surprised myself.
Official. We got to use that every time now. Official. It's
Yeah.
perfect. It's like
Yeah.
whatever word you made up yesterday. I can't even remember.
That
what
was so we were talking about marketing funnels and it was
Oh, fun.
funnel.
Yeah,
Funnel.
funnel. Right. Yeah, it's going to be a funnel. Okay, so who's got a fishy joke?
I have one.
Okay.
These days, they let pretty much anyone officiate at weddings as long as they have a certificate from the net.
Oh, that's a double.
Fabulous.
That
That's
is
fabulous.
good.
That's
I
good.
have a small one. How do shellfish get to the hospital?
How do shellfish get to the hospital? Not by ambulance.
Oh, you're close. Think of what rhymes with ambulance and a shellfish.
Something you lens.
Yes, you're right. A clambulance.
A clambulance. Oh.
Oh, that's cute. That's funny. Well, this morning, and we're going to get into this because Uqualla always does this for me. So my PhD is energy medicine. And so I'm on a quest right now to figure out, well, how do we get to vibrate higher, and how do we eliminate any, how do we can manifest, just like anybody through the ages has manifested miracles and, raising people from the dead and all of that. And what I've learned is that someone was saying yesterday, well, when Jesus, which now we're calling him Yeshua on purpose because it's a stronger word, but when he was raising people from the dead, he was just basically busting up funeral homes everywhere because he was just getting people up off the ground. And he said, we can do that too. And so this guy was commenting and he said, I don't think God ever wanted any of us to have a yucky life. I don't even think he wanted us to die. I think that was all humans doing. And we were talking about the two things that trump everything are laughter and music, because both make you think about now, right? When you're drumming in the Hava Supi tribe and you're drumming, you're right there doing the drumming, right? You're going. So anyway, Uqualla makes me laugh and makes me listen to music. And so Uqualla, I introduced you a tiny bit, but could you tell us about you don't have to tell us about your fishy past yet, but could you tell us about your family and your tradition, and maybe just a little bit take off on the Hava Supi tribe, because it's really unique, because it's stuck in the bottom of the Grand Canyon, and even now, like COVID, nobody can even come in and out. So they're always kind of like they're sort of like stuck in perfect water or something down there, because they're sort of protected from human stuff, right?
There's so much that we could speak about on every single word that we choose to bring into oratory, which is nothing more than speaking. And when you begin with the tribe. The tribe is a beautiful grouping of people that were birthed into the Grand Canyon at the bottom and is one of the most isolated tribes in the United States, in that there is no vehicular access. Everything is an 8-mile hike in, 8-mile horseback ride in, or a 15-minute helicopter ride in. But that just gives you a sense of how isolated it is. Then when you put on to that the whole thought premise of the Grand Canyon, the operative word being grand, I mean, massive. And we're looking at so many tributaries of the Grand Canyon that feed into this master land formation. And just to begin to imagine that within this, all of this acreage of the canyon, we've got a small tribe that lives at the bottom. The fact that they live there, there is so many things that are connected with that. How did they come to be? How is it that they were the ones to be in the canyon? All of this brings it to the moment where there is a tribe. They are a given name, Hava Supi. Hava Supi, anglicized into Hava Supi, though traditionally it's Hapsu, Baj. Hapsu, Baj literally translates into the people of the blue-green waters.
Oh, wow.
Originally, the tribe were nomadic seasonally. In the fall, winter months, they were on the upper plateau. When you can think of the Grand Canyon, and the rim itself covers a massive land base, and that is higher up in the evergreens. You've got pine trees, you've got piñons. Our tribe would go there for the seed gathering, piñons. In the fall, they would do the hunting during the fall. The winter months were then used to do the traditional tanning of the hides. And as the season brought forth the cycles, at a certain moment, whatever deer skins that were tanned were then taken on the trade routes to our neighboring tribes on the rim: Hopi, Navajo, Paiute, Wallapai, Yavapai, many of the Southwest tribes that are in northern Arizona and on the Colorado Plateau rim, which basically is encompassing the 4 states, Arizona, New Mexico, Utah, and what is the other one? 4 states connected, Colorado, one of them. Anyway, the fact that the wandering of the tribes, the Hava Supi, all the tribes that I just mentioned, were in a constant cycle of trade, planting, being in the canyon, harvesting the medicines. So that brings it right back into the tribe that is living, Hava Supi, down at the bottom. Come with the times now, they're known as the guardians of the Grand Canyon. They are the watchers, the keepers, the sentinels of the canyon, and bringing in that connection energetically, vibrationally, spiritually. And the fact that it is a small tribe. We number all of about 365 plus individual people that make up the entirety of the Hava Supi nation. So we're not a large nation. However, the connection with the ancestry and the traditions, the culture is very powerful. The fact that the isolation has allowed for our tribe to maintain the fluency within the language as the first language. That's the language that we speak. though the isolation has allowed for our children to know the language as that first language. English is the second language. However, now, and I share this with all of you listeners, that within time there is an evolution in play. So that means that what were isolated tribes aren't necessarily that isolated anymore. Global.
Well, I wanna mention something for people to think about too, because thank you very much for just using your language, the language of your tribe that's so beautiful. But I kind of want to point this out for a minute because it was a recent revolution to me and resolution that, oh my goodness. And lately I've been really downloading and channeling like almost 24 hours a day. It's been like a lot. And first of all, I want to just say that there is a place on the river in Hava Supi that the water looks just like your dress, Deborah. It's very, very turquoise. And it's very famous. I mean, people are like, how could that be turquoise when the river is not turquoise? And there's a whole bunch of reasons for it. But I want to point out that in tribes, in Native American tribes, but I think this is also true of Aboriginal tribes, I believe it's true that you're one of the most isolated groups of people on the planet. Because I believe that the Grand Canyon is one of the deepest places where people can go. So, you still can go into the ocean and go deeper, but it's not, you can't hang out there, forever, I don't think. But there, you've kind of been sequestered in this special place. And I believe most of the Native American tribes, they didn't ever write down their language at first. It was just tradition to word of mouth. And that the leaders, the tribal leaders, whether it was the medicine man or whether it was the chief, they established the proper way for the children to learn from the elders so that the story was correct. So the story stayed intact and the languages stayed intact and didn't get changed because it was supposed to be this particular way, and then they train the children to make sure that it's this particular way. It's not like those telephone trees where people whisper in each other's ears, and that actually has been used as a premise that, well, the tribes really didn't know these things because they used word of mouth. But the way the tribes did word of mouth, it was pure training. It was like, this is the pure tradition, and then you have to take it. Well, the Hava Supi is unique in that because what I believe is that your language and your stories could be a key to the origin of what humans are. And when I heard Deborah speak in tongues, I was shocked because it sounded like the way you speak. And now on YouTube, there are a lot of people that they're downloading and they're speaking what they call light language or angel language. And these people are just manifesting miracles, and they're saying these words that no one understands, but they said it doesn't matter if they understand it because it's doing something to their insides. But it sounds like your tribal language. So my feeling, I'm just going to throw it into the mix here, is that this comes from the stars, and that it is original, and that whether you're speaking in tongues or whether you're speaking Hava Supi or whether you're speaking angel light language, it's all the same stuff, and we really don't know what it means. It just does something. It means something.
Exactly. I mean, we still have the existence of mankind right now is still so limited onto their understanding of the expanse of what we speak about of those of the spirit, that spirit essence. You hit it right on. the star nations, the cosmos, they come into this play. What languages are spoken now are not the original languages. These are evolved forms of communications based on the evolution of the two-leggeds on the Mother Earth. But as a result of that, there are languages that our language is, there's other languages. Our language is not the only one. The fact is that these are more the contemporary languages, where before it's those languages where we don't know if they were of sound or were they vibrations, frequencies. They're all out there. And when we talk about our own consciousness of what we understand, earth-based tribes, every two-legged person that is birthed onto the Mother Earth is of a earth-based tribe. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to be from an ethnicity. It is looking back at our ancestry, where at one point in time they were in harmony and partnership with the elementals, the Mother Earth. And that goes around and around. People seem to think that we've got the corner market on tradition and culture. It is something that we must understand, that what you have been birthed into is what you need to maintain the consciousness to allow for that to be in constant contribution into the mix of the energy from the on the whole for the Mother Earth. So as a tribal member, I have to also respect all of those that are of my region. But then that opens the door to canyon tribes, which we are of, mountain tribes, which are of the Apaches, the coastal tribes, the river tribes, all the tribes that are out there are based on the regions, the various aspects of the Mother Earth that they are sentinels of. So when we speak about whom we are, let's focus in on ourselves initially. Who are you? What is your direct bloodline lineage? What, as a result of that, does that open those doors of what you just referred to, of that oral history? The oral history is not equating to training. It is equating to the spiritual capabilities that are a part of every two-legged birthed onto this Mother Earth. We have allowed for that to, we've allowed ourselves to distance from it because we're so Western intellectually based that we have to have a scientific proof. In spirituality, which is very much a part of the culture and traditions of ethnic tribes, we all are carriers, we all are bearers, we all are medicines of the regions that we do come from. We are not the only isolated tribe. When you look at the fact that if we were isolated, we would not speak English, nor would we have the ability of Zoom connect into the village. We are far from being isolated in the sense that we don't. We have tribes that are still yet not discovered globally. That may not be massive tribes, but these may be breakout clan groups that are still living in very beautiful, pristine Mother Earth. What have we done, though? Mainstream has continued to devastate the Mother Earth, and we're bringing our hurt into the wellness of our own existence. So for my position as a ceremonial practitioner within my tribe, as there are the stars or the sands, you are also carriers, medicine, that are keepers and conscious contributors into the wellness of the Mother Earth. So as a tribal member, I am enjoyed to be able to speak about where I come from. But in that coming from, I also must equate my presence to those that are the likes of you, to those that are in leadership, in a spiritual place. And that spirituality is like a whole another subject matter, which is now having a energy debate with the mindset of world right now. So languages, energies, frequencies, vibrations, that's the new language that all of us are capable of, but yet not understanding. But of a small tribe, this is the features of my tribe. Many of the Southwest tribes in the Arizona area have very close facial features, as some of our brothers and sisters in in Asia. So it's quite interesting.
Well, you guys look almost like Tibetans. I mean, you could be
Mongolian bloodline. You see that, yes.
Yeah, you can see it, and I believe it because I believe that the continents were together, and I believe they made that transition.
So-
And I believe you guys, maybe the Zunis and the Hopis, different tribes are known for different things that they're famous for, and you guys were, in my mind, the most spiritual and most peaceful and most kind and loving. Like, that's somehow you guys held
All
on.
tribes were, though, Trish, all tribes globally were pure in their innocence and their ability to maintain connection with divine source. Though the ones that are quasi-isolated or truly isolated are really in deeper connection with the communications there. We within the earth walk of mankind basically have brought a distraction into our energy frequency, that we're not hearing the messages that are there all the time, but we're not understanding it. So it's an interesting situation for me, but I love the fact that we all are in witness. Every moment that you exist in our tradition, they say the moment you walk out of sacred sanctuary, which is your home, your room, your sacred place where you are you, the moment you walk out of that, you are on for this divine creator source. We embody that, and that embodiment must be such that we in the world aren't known as Laura, Deborah, Trish, or Uqualla. We are seen as from whatever regions that we are coming from whatever directions, projects that we are known for. We will be seen as that. And that's the sad case of stereotyping. We all look alike.
So I have a question, Uqualla.
I love your voice.
Oh, my voice. When we were talking about spirituality, I feel like that as personally, that I've risen to this high level of happiness and this high level of just joy and awareness. And I know it takes a while to get there, but what do you see as the facilitator to getting there? I'm living it now, and it's just the most amazing place to be. And I just want to be able to share that. And what advice would you have about that, of becoming spiritually alchemized, I guess? Or
beautiful word. You know, Deborah, the moment that I met you, the energy exchange, and it wasn't that I was able to peer into the soul, but we've got to remember, we are the full package of divine source. Divine source has many names within this earth walk. And the tidbit of sharing that we're not making reference to doctrines of Christianity. We're making reference to the beauty, the pure, pristine essence of spirit, which is the Mother Earth, nature, and the elementals. And that then, if we are able to be in receivership of that energy, you embody that in what you wore the moment I saw you. And this comes into so many modalities now that were ancient ancestral teaching. The fact that the notice that brought me into harmony with you immediately was what they refer to now as color therapy. The colors that you dawned on, the totality of how that met up with you as that complete silhouette of the two-legged, the feminine two-legged. But even at that point, we have to realize that we are, in a much more contemporary terming, a walking business card out there. And they're going to see that business card and pull from that, from its entirety, the design, the font, the paper, all of that, to get a sense of whom we are. And that is key. That is number one, because you will, and without you truly being conscious of it, you are drinking in the imbuement that is around you, the frequency, the aura, the vibrations all around you. And that, even with you being unconscious of it, it is within you. Then that comes out in the form of unconditionality. I'm in joy, I'm in love. I just feel that my journey is in such a beautiful plus place. And that's the little girl, the little boy, which basically equates to the innocence and the naivete. That is spirituality. And if we can all just embrace that, it doesn't matter from what region, what color, what lifestyle, what belief system, we all are of the two-legged nature. And of that two-legged form, we are identical within when we were birthed. It's what we have done to this two-legged silhouette within our earth walk that we are now in distress, illnesses, addictions, problems, which then add into the global frequency of negativity and conflict and war. So those that are listening and those that are seeing, I shared this. People will see you well before they ever hear you. So if in fact you're across that room and you kick that dog, steal that purse, break that window, then you walk over to me and talk so sweet, so syrupy, and so loving, I already know you because I saw what you did. And that is why we have to understand, the moment we walk out of our sacred sanctuaries, we are witnessed by the world. We do not have to be in a position of leadership. We, as a two-legged form, automatically claim that in our earth walks as teachers, mentors, confidants, and companions to that outside world, is how we refer to, because when we're in the canyon, anything outside of the canyon, the outside world. But the other caption within that is turned into spirituality is consciousness, to walk amongst them. And that is you carrying and radiating this energy that can be so beautiful. And it's in the sound. For those that aren't able to see us visually and just hearing us audibly, they hear the beautiful flow and lilt of the voice, the joy. We don't need to see that we're smiling. The sound of that word that is said, the nuance of it is like, oh my gosh, my body feels light. My body feels happy. And this is how we step into the world stepping into the world, we are in the forms and the regions and the peoples and the thoughts and ways that are of our immediate bloodlines. But above that, the one that supersedes that is the spiritual bloodlines. That spiritual connect to the dimensions that we are unaware of. The fact that in our medicine teaching, they say, we within the earth walk body, the two-legged body, use just the teeniest, minute amount of what we are capable of. We see only a small fraction. We hear only a small fraction of what our bodies are capable of. We should see things of energies floating. We should see the elements of what in our tradition we refer to as the little people, fairies, gnomes, elves, all of these wonderful things that, you know, how I'm going to share this with the listening and the viewing audience is that in the periphery, a quick movement happens. But when you turn and look at it, there's nothing there. That's because your ability to expand that eye, the hearing, the frequency has not yet been reached. So they were there, though you just have to know in your heart, what a beautiful connection. That was a beautiful little being that just energetically allowed for me to catch just the teeniest whisper of its movement. Wow, everything is so wow. And that's where all of us need to be in joy about. And going beyond that, the fact that, Deborah, the beauty of you listening and having a language come in, please don't try to put a label onto this, because the expanse of that is beyond, above to the 100th, the umpteenth power that is beyond what we are. You know, we can celebrate and be in joy of regions, thoughts, ways, belief systems, but that is just a fraction of what we are capable of. So if we can begin to open the doors even more, the star nations, you know, in culture, globally, they all say we are pieces of the star nations. It all comes from above. And that above is much more knowing than what we will ever be. Though within the compilations of what we've been birthed into as this wonderful environment in its beginning was so pure. We have muddled it up so much, but the beauty of this is that we can come back into it by feeling those elements of things that are above and beyond. However, as I've shared with Trish over and over, we walk in many dimensions simultaneously. So you can't be too goofy in this three-dimensional earth walk, or else you'll be the first to be committed. So we have to learn how to be that innocent, naive, but yet be aware of the parameters that we have that to work with, i.e., the job descriptions we have for our professions, the collective thought processes of clans, groups, nations, world. We have a major voice in that, but it comes from the essence of that cosmic system, which is massive, but that can also equate to the body tribe. It is here. When you look at the breakdown of the cells, the DNAs, the little bit just going in microscopically and even more and more, it boggles the mind. But that was a good question. Thank you.
I love it. I love it.
Uqualla, let me ask you, we usually ask, and you're so spiritual that I'm sure
And I love your spiritual glasses too. Neon.
Oh, thank you. I know. I matched. I followed you today.
Okay.
I want to be cool like you. But we usually ask our guests if they've experienced a ghost or a UFO, and you really have been in unusual places. So I would ask you what you've experienced besides just the periphery and the what you know is there, and acknowledge. Is there anything that you've actually experienced, either UFO or ghost or both?
Over and over. You've got to realize that there's so many planes. The plane that the world is conscious of is, we see it, it's right there. How do I explain it? Then it goes into the other essence of our body beings, in dream visioning, in the body feeling the frequency, a waft of just cold, clam energy coming through the body. All of these are the connections to the unseen. We have got to be careful of labeling them. These are energy essence beings that are there, that are beyond what we as the two-leggeds are incapable of understanding. The fact is that because of this limitation, we only have a small periphery in which we can experience and understand that. In moments of just sleeping out on the Mother Earth, and for whatever it may be, you see a light in the sky. You see that light being there, and as it expands and lights up the valley, you wonder why the people in that valley are not seeing anything. It's sometimes, not sometimes, we are talking of intelligence that is beyond our understanding. Sometimes a mass grouping doesn't necessarily have to see it. It is as the four-leggeds, the wingeds, as they do. They present themselves when they feel that there's a connection with you, and that energy is to bring affirmation into your moment of whatever it may be. So from lights to seeing beings over and over in magnificent forms beyond our construct and understanding of a two-legged form. And they're breathtaking. I have walked, but many of this has been on the pristine Mother Earth. That is when we get into their area of watch and true leadership, and they connect with us to give us the downloads, the clarity, the illumination. And it's in how you perceive it and step into it. When you are from innocence and naivete, that opens the doors to so many dimensions. But when you allow for the mental Western intellect to come in, that's a major steel door that just stops an energy that's going to come in. I will share this. What I refer to, I know I have seen. Though when I bring my consciousness up, not up, when I bring my consciousness back to my being a two-legged limited being, all it was a tree branch. All it was a stump on the ground. What it was a rock formation in the wall. What it was a light of the setting sun or the morning dawn. That doesn't mean that it was not true. There was truth in that, but they, beyond our intelligence, have to go back into the shape shift back, where it doesn't alarm us, because we are creatures of fear-based tribes that would call the world out to a frenzy of fear, panic. So these are things, you're seeing them. And, you know, people will go, fairies, gnomes, oh, is he crazy? I mean, when you see something, they basically shape shift into the moths, to the little teeny insects that fly, the lightning bugs, the ones that light up. all of these, they are master shapeshifters. We stopped our shape-shifting because we started to work more in a tangible, scientific-based thought process. So we've crippled ourselves.
Well, I think, the four of us, for sure. I want to talk to our audience, because all four of us have spent a lifetime trying to get closer to our spiritual selves. None of us just figured this out and said, oh, I want to go do this. We've all worked really hard and diligently to become what we are this moment. And we've all wanted, each of us, I know so well, we've all wanted to be a better demonstration of the power that Jesus was teaching when he said all the things he said in the Bible. And I always believed it, that, we're more powerful than we're practicing. But the world, anybody who knows me for very long, I mean, I just get so mad about how we train children, because it's not about expansive. Because one of the things that we're all for doing, I think, is practicing, how am I going to own the room, right? How am I going to own this room? When I walk out that door, how are people going to go, oh, wow, I want to do whatever she's doing? Because they are attracted, because we don't want to run after people and go, you should do this. This is really cool. We want people to come, and they do. They come up and they go, who are you? I want to hang out with you. I want to be friends with you. And I got a bizarre little note on my kitchen window last night. You talked to me the other day from your balcony. My name is such and such. My dog's name is such and such. Can we be friends? I'm like, well, that's amazing. And so, so we're having those instances happen. But I think, can you imagine if you had a room full of 30 people who all wanted to own the room? How magical that space would be? Because none of us, I mean, we would look as different as the four of us, right? But we would be emulating this light and this radiance that goes, I'm doing pretty good just right here. And then together, when we're all together, well, the four of us haven't yet been together, but I know we will very soon on one of our retreats, because we will do those together. And the thing is that when you get people together that are all in love of themselves, because God gave them this temple to decorate, and I don't need to decorate myself like you, or I don't need to look like Laura. I can just be whoever I want to be. And then all of a sudden you got a room full of people that are really cool, really different, really fun. And I think that we are well, you and I talked the other day, and I do want to say this, that we are in this midst of, if we can stay in the moment, and if we can have a high enough vibration, we really can start creating miracles, because it takes us into a different dimension when we are focused. Because the fear is just either you're looking forward, or you're looking back. Fear doesn't happen in the moment. Fear only happens when you put a bunch of other things around it. And I was asking you the other day, because I heard that we are responsible for cutting the fear contracts that were put on our ancestors. And so now in this life, we have to say, anyone that I'm connected to in DNA or friendship or whatever that have crossed over, I am going to take on we're going to cut this contract with fear, and you are released now just 100% into the light and into pure love. You don't have to have fear anymore. And that will eliminate too our own fears, because our fears our collective emotional molecules, and they're learned here. Oh, be afraid of the future or be afraid of the past. And we've all been on high speed for the last few weeks. I also just want to make one other focus on something you said, and that was that when you're out on Earth and you are more in the elements of the elementals, that you will start to manifest better. And I just a month ago moved to Carefree, and Carefree is very very isolated. And so there aren't very many people out here. And it really is, I'm just downloading all the time. Like it's just channel, channel, channel. And I know it's because I'm working on being clearer, but I also don't have I can be outside next to the cactus, or it's coming through the sky and the plants. And it's, so I really encourage everybody, even if you're living in New York City, go talk to a plant or go touch a tree, because there's something we don't understand, but I know it'll work. That if you can put yourself in a more of a natural environment, you're gonna have amazing stuff happen. If you just stay in the moment, ask, all of my divine guides and spirits, however you show up, can you talk to me? And this one woman yesterday said, ask questions. But honestly, right now, I don't even have any questions, because I just want to enjoy the moment, right? I'm not even wondering about something.
That's the beauty of it, when there is a flow and we're not constantly just pulling on questions. This is an energy divination that comes in and says, you are right on. And the fact that as things are flowing, the flow is that the affirmation that we are in the right way. When I say the we is all that is in watch and in hearing today. What I will also say is that within your earth walk, that is your life. Remember those moments when I referred to being in pristine Mother Earth. You also, every single one of you that is hearing, watching me, have been in a moment where you were in pristine Mother Earth. One of the key elements in our teachings is that those moments, memorize it to heart. And that means that for those of us now that are living in urban settings, metropolitan areas where there is no true forest, you can pull from that heart memory and go, my gosh, I remember when I was standing next to that saguaro. I remember when that owl was singing on the outside. That is that heart memory, which then opens up that door. But that door, once it is open, you must understand that this allows for that flow of information to come in. We are in healing, and we are in a time now where we are being given the opportunity to be conscious about bringing in a change within our respective earth walks. Time is beautiful, isn't it? When I'm looking at every day, part of my offerings and downloads from Source was that as of the New Year's winter solstice, vision came through to reawaken the energies of the canyon. We as a canyon tribe have been there for thousands of years. The oratory and the origin stories tell of the times that we're under the ground, all of these things. But now so much of the evolution, as we have grown within times, we're distancing from those beautiful prehistoric cultural traditions. So there has to be a connect. So the vision was, we as a tribe, we're living in the bottom of the Grand Canyon that the world knows about as a national park's Grand Canyon. We are the canyon property right next to it, below that the Grand Canyon National Parks. Historically, our tribe lived at the bottom of the national park's Grand Canyon and did our plantings down there. That planting piece of ground is known as Hava Supi Gardens. It is at the bottom of Bright Angel Trail. So my vision was to be able to walk down to the garden grounds every full moon and do the prayer offerings there. So every full moon, I hike down to the bottom of Bright Angel Trail on the Grand Canyons National Parks and do the prayers, the offerings, not just for my tribe, but for mankind in its entirety, to awaken that healing, to open up the doors. So as that is done, this allows for the energies to expand and emanate and radiate. And all of us carry this within our day-to-day practice. So whatever it is that is a good heart memory, good heart thought, adds to this beautiful alchemy of healing for the entirety of the Mother Earth.
Wow.
Oh, Deborah.
Did you notice that Uqualla and I have the same earrings on?
You know, I just noticed that. And Laura, you and I with the
Feathers.
glasses.
With the
And
colored
then-
glasses?
Trish, Trish, look at my wrist. And you're
Aw, I gave him, I mean, not
You're
that he
wearing
needed
it.
another thing, but I gave him they are,
very.
what are those rocks that,
Lava rocks, and they absorb the essential oils, those?
no, the rocks that you can put in water, and the Romans used them.
Oh, yeah, you told me when I was there that purify the water.
Shungite.
Shungite. Well, that's my bracelet.
So that's
Yeah, so
I love it.
you guys match bracelets. He and
Yeah.
I matched. Yeah.
I mean,
So,
all
you guys,
one.
I need to just do a couple of housekeeping things. So today we are not going to go into Clubhouse because we have a lot of things happening all at the same time. And just like I said, I don't even know what to ask Spirit for, because it's just directing me every second, like, oh, I need to walk left. Oh, I need to walk right. It's really that much. I mean, we're all experiencing it because I'm talking to these guys, and we're like, we start to do one thing and then we're told, no, you need to go do this, and we do it, and it's like perfect. And so we are going to wrap up this interview, and I will say that we are all really using the oils, the Young Living oils, because of the coherence that it does with your brain and your heart. And the more coherent, the more clear you get, so that divine, however it is, whether it's a fairy or a branch or a bird, can speak directly to you. And I'm speaking to Uqualla probably more than I ever have, because we do believe we are in an ascension process on the planet. And we do believe that we have helped to cause some incredible healing worldwide. And we know this because we know it for a fact, because we have some people that are actually doing those things happening. So it's not pie in the sky kind of ideas. It's really happening. And it's happening because you have a lot of diligent people who have worked very hard in prayer and in their actions each day. And so we are scheduled for 2 retreats in September, at which again, by the grace of God, it is going to.
Yeah, Uqualla. Wow.
That is cool. Is that at the Sedona Center? Uqualla?
I'm in the cathedral room at the Sedona Conscious Living
I
Center.
want to be there.
We're getting ready to do a sound healing this afternoon at 4.
Oh, wow.
Well,
That's
it's
fabulous.
these things. Uqualla is in Sedona right now, and he and my other friend Sonia have been doing daily ceremony to heal Sedona's spiritual little heart, because Sedona, like many sacred places on the planet, it was a little bit like they had lost something, because they had been raped and pillaged by tourism,
Yeah.
hurting the land, leaving the trash and not not honoring the trees and the water and all of that. And we felt that Sedona had shut itself off from its vortexes, really. You couldn't shut all the energy down, but Sedona was really suffering, really suffering. I think when I first met Uqualla, he was doing ceremonies in a friend of mine's property, and we all started working together. And so we are doing this work. We will share it with you guys. You'll be able to come to some of these retreats. They'll probably be small. I mean, there has been some talk lately of us doing some massive thing, and we'll look at that. But for us, it's kind of like, I love to have parties because I want to have fun. I don't have parties to get stressed out. And so my feeling about retreats are, I need to be catapulted in them. I don't want to be just taking care of everybody. I want to take care of myself. And then we will connect with everybody at the retreat, and we'll give everything that we give, but we are also there to receive just for our own selves. Like, we want the transformation, just like we want that for you. So we will be talking about that. But for today, we're going to start to wrap up. I think everybody's going to do a wrap up little thing, and then we will not go to Clubhouse today, but we will be back next Friday on Clubhouse so people can talk. And maybe Uqualla, you could come back sometime and be open to letting people call in and ask you questions. I think it's kind of fun to be able to do
Always
that.
fun. Always fun.
Okay.
It will happen.
We'll have you back. And so Laura and Dr. Deborah, do you have some last minute things, to-dos?
All I have to say is gratitude. Gratitude for this connection, gratitude for these are my people right here. And I'm just so grateful to be here, and thank God for that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I feel gratitude too. And I'm grateful to be around like-minded spirits who lead with their heart and want to save the world one person at a time, themselves first, from one to many. And I'm just so grateful for our friendship, and I can't wait to see you live soon, Uqualla. It's been too many years, and I'm so grateful you joined us today. I just love you.
Yeah, how special. We are blessed. We are very lucky, you guys. We are blessed, and so everybody can have the same. I love you guys. You guys make me cry. I just want to live with you. I want to go into the bedroom and sit on your bed and talk to you.
Let's do it.
And Uqualla, do you have any parting words for our audience? You know, maybe a piece of advice or something you want to say that's helped you navigate your life so well?
We call it row advice because it's a fish podcast.
I love that row. You know, I do. You know, for everyone that is out there, don't look at us as having to be like. What you are is the highest in efficiency of spirit as you are right now. Though you are in a journey of evolution, you evolve. When we speak about these moments of gestures that we do, of smudging, of anointments, every tool that is out there is for you to use as the key into that dimensional connect. The oils, the plants, the candles, the mirrors, the colors, any little thing that you do. I don't use the word routine anymore. I just embrace the word practice. Let it become a practice for you. And that gesture is your little knock knock. Spirit, I'm here. Show me, teach me, tell me. So it's all there. So use what you can. So I'm in love also with the oils, because as a ceremonial person, I should be able to carry all of these in bushel baskets from place to place, ceremony to ceremony. It is not feasible in these days, but in the pure essence form of the oils, I use that, and it's just a matter of doing the wafting, and it goes out. But many blessings to all of you. My joy to be with you. My heart just is
Mine
in
too.
such play right now, knowing that from this place of this cyber connect, we have truly shot spirit out into all of cyberspace. Thank you.
Steve McCarty is watching you, and he said to tell you, he texted me and he said, tell Uqualla how much I love him and how much I love the girls. So we interviewed him a couple of weeks ago, and he was good and funny. And we've got some interviews on, and they'll be there forever because Laura, in her brilliance, puts them up on YouTube so that they are part of our whole new story that we're creating. And oh, I have a new word for all of us. I love this. My girlfriend, who was an AP writer for a long time, I met her yesterday. She calls past husbands, just Deborah and I need this, husbands.
I love it, husbands.
Isn't that cute? Because I don't like saying my ex, I don't like saying that. It sounds like I've X'd you off my thing. I mean, I'm still very close to my exes because I love them. I loved them one time, and I don't want to not love them, I just don't want to have to sleep with these people. That's all.
And can I share my new word? It's an actual word in the English language, because somebody asked me about a comment that I made about a spiritual partner. Labelings, they see it wrong, and they interpret it thinking that it's a lover, it is this or that. And I found through Word Hippo is my favorite app. And it's called Compere, COMPEER, Compere, which is basically, the definition is my equivalent. I love.
It's almost like a companion peer. Is it a combination?
I don't know, but I just found it in Word Hippo, and
I love that.
I'm gonna download that.
I love that. Yeah, I don't like all the connotations around ownership and contracts and all that. And I said my colleague is going to pick me up on Monday morning, and I've had 10 people go, "Are you dating him?" I'm like,
exactly.
well, I mean, colleague is colleague, isn't it? Well, not really, if he's coming over to your house. I'm like, are there any words that just don't have a lot of attachment? All right, guys, I gotta go. I love you.
All right, you guys.
Thank you, Uqualla. Thank you,
Have a great
Trish
week.
and
Thank you
Laura.
so
I love
much.
you all.
Love you.
Love you guys.
Bye.
Bye, everybody on
Bye.
Facebook.
Bye.
Mwah.